Hello and welcome to the Pit Stop. I'm Justin with NRN. Hope you had a great week and thanks so much for joining me today. We're going to start with a little NASCAR news. 5 new members will be inducted into the 2018 NASCAR Hall of Fame, and those 5 members are you ready? Are you sure? Drum roll, please. The 5 are Red Byron, Ray Evernham, Ken Squire, Robert Yates, and Ron Hornaday Jr. Those are the 5 new members that will be joining the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Red Byron is an old school racer, and he ran his first race in 1949, the very first NASCAR race ever held, which of course was held in Charlotte. That's where the first official NASCAR sanctioned race was held, right here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he was in it. Ray Evernham will also go in, who was once the crew chief for Jeff Gordon, who won him all those championships, and in fact, I think he was once rumored lover to Jeff Gordon. But I don't want to tease him too much because he did help Bill Elliott relive some former glory there and win some races, and since I'm a huge Bill Elliott fan, I don't want to tease Ray Evernham too much. Very appreciative for all he did. Ken Squire, of course, is a broadcasting legend and someone who I look up to as someone who's wanting to get into racing media. So, big fan of Ken Squire. He coined the phrase, actually, the Great American Race. He sure did. And he broadcasted the very first televised in its entirety NASCAR race. You remember that famous Daytona 500 that ended in a fist fight. Robert Yates is another guy going into the Hall of Fame. Robert Yates passed away last year in October, right before the Bank of America 500. In fact, I went to that race, and they actually had the old Dale Jarrett Robert Yates Ford out there leading the pace car. So that was fun to see that car out on the track again, because I remember watching that car at Rockingham the year it did win the championship. So yeah, that was a throwback. And then the last person that was going in was Ron Hornaday Jr., which I thought this was a bit odd, actually. I was quite surprised. I remember I had a second, I was like, Ron Hornaday Jr.? Do you guys know who Ron Hornaday Jr. is? I remember him. He's pretty much known for his truck career. Get some of these stats right here. Listen to some of these numbers. 360 races run in the truck series. Out of those 360 races, he finished in the top 10 234 times, scored poles 27 times, and has 51 career wins in the truck series. He is by far the best NASCAR Camping World Truck Series driver. So, I mean, when you think about when they first announced Ron Hornaday's going into the Hall of Fame, I was like, what? But then when you remember all that he's done in the truck series, it makes a ton of sense because he is one of the best. In other news, though, Team Penske newcomer Ryan Blaney is going to have to cut his hair and shave. Big thing on Twitter, been seeing that. He's really gotten that hair out down to his shoulders now. And he had some big stash. Looked like some one of the drivers you maybe were used to seeing back in maybe, I don't know, the 70s or something. But Roger Penske's going to make him cut all that hair off and shave that. Which I don't know. I used to have long hair. I did. I had hair about down to my shoulders once, and I looked crazy. It was out of control. It was too curly. It looked like a blonde Edward Scissorhands. It was awful. So I can't imagine. I don't know why you'd want to have long hair anyway. Having to put a helmet on and drive in a hot car with long hair, I don't know why you'd want to do that anyway. So my friends, I got 2 friends down in Wilmington, all right? They want me to grow a beard because I'm turning 30 this year, and I look like I'm 20, even though I am going to be 30 years old in June. But they want me to grow a beard so that I look older and people take me more seriously. But I don't know. I don't think anyone will ever take me seriously. Brad Keselowski's going to have one more thing to complain about this year, because Chevy has just rolled out a brand new design for their 2018 car. They've got a new car, and it is nice. They are racing the body style of the Camaro ZL1, and this thing is sharp. I'll throw a picture up of what it looks like. Is that not the coolest thing you've ever seen? I'm excited about that, but Ford isn't coming out with anything new. They're sticking with the 4-door Ford Fusion as the base model for their stock car. Of course, that thing it barely resembles a Ford Fusion. I mean, there's nothing stock about a stock car. Didn't Robert Duvall say that in Days of Thunder? There's nothing stock about a stock car. And he's right, man. Chevy, Ford, Toyota, they hardly have anything to do with those cars other than the sticker it's printed on that says Ford. But Ford isn't coming out with anything new. They're going to stick with it. And I think Ford might struggle a little bit this year. Might not be the best year to be a Ford racing fan. I don't know. They could surprise me, but I'm not expecting a whole lot. But, yeah, they're going to stick with the Ford Fusion. But could you imagine for a second, just a second, an actual race between a Ford Fusion and a Camaro? Imagine that. That's right. You can't imagine that. Because it's not possible. The Camaro and the Fusion couldn't race one another. But Ford really needs to. They really need to. I don't know why they don't do this. Because in the Xfinity series, Ford runs the Mustang. And it's a hot car, man. And I don't know why they don't bring the Ford Mustang over to NASCAR. Cup Series, that is. And they probably will now that the Chevy body looks like a Camaro. That it resembles somewhat a Camaro. Because all the NASCAR cars look the same. But it does resemble somewhat of a Camaro. And so I imagine Ford Mustang will be joining the ranks very soon. Speaking of Ford Fusion, I got a friend who has one. They're nice cars. They're pretty cool. You know, it's about like driving around in my Mazda 6. I mean, it's an okay car. But she called me the other day and she says, hey, guess what I'm going to do? I'm like, what? She says, I'm going to add a turbo kit to my Ford Fusion. She wants to put a turbo kit in her Ford Fusion. I'm like, why? Why are you going to do that? She used to drive a Mustang. She said, well, I want to get my Fusion back to where, she says, I miss the Mustang. I'm like, just go get you another Mustang. Trade in the Fusion. Why are you going to put a turbo kit on a Fusion? It's an eco-friendly car. If you put a turbo kit on an eco-friendly car, does that not defeat the purpose of having an eco-friendly car when you put a turbo kit on a Ford Fusion? At the same time, though, I thought it was pure genius because who would have thought to do that? The creativity behind that. She's not creative at all. She has no sense of humor whatsoever. She's very analytical, and she's, in that sense, she is like an engineer, really. But that was creative. I hope she does it. But less than 40 days now, my friends. Less than 40 days. More like 36 or 35, depending on when you listen to this. I don't know when you listen to this. If you're listening to this in March, then forget about anything I've just said. But less than 40 days now into the Daytona 500. Exciting. Exciting. But let's talk Daytona for a second because things are still going on down in Daytona. They're preparing for the 24 hours of Daytona, which is just weeks away. And I think I said last week that I was planning on going and that I was hoping to go and that I was trying to talk myself out of going. Well, I did not successfully do that. And I will be going to the 24 hours of Daytona and I will be taking y'all with me. So if you want to live vicariously through me and keep up with everything that's going at the actual track during the race, just tune into NRN looking for video content. Go to our Facebook page for pictures, uploads. Follow us on Twitter for tweets, Instagram for pictures from the event. All that, I'll throw all the information up. Follow us there and you can live vicariously through me while I go to the 24 hours of Daytona. Gonna get up super early on Saturday. 3 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully be on the road by 4 o'clock in the morning. Be down in Daytona by noon. Watch the 24 hours. Drive all the way down there to watch these cars race 24 hours. And then drive back. Gonna sleep in the car if I get tired. But should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. So yeah, follow us all on NRN to, act like you're there, see all the cool pictures, the video and stuff, and I'm excited. I have no idea what to expect. I've done literally no research on this whatsoever. I've just decided to go. 2018, brand new me, new year, new me. I'm trying to be more bold and just do crazy stuff, and this is an experience I wanted to experience, and I'm going to experience it. So that's what I'm going to do, and no one's going to stop me. But if you go over to IMSA.com, there's a very good article with Fernando Alonso. He drove a couple laps during the roar before the 24, excuse me. But he was only able to drive 3 laps, but he seemed like he had a really good time. And this is what he had to say to the press, and I quote, he says, "I did unfortunately a short time, only 3 laps this morning, but enough to have a feeling in the car. I don't know the speedway as well. The corners with the high banking were, pause, special." I like that. I like that he, pause, special. I don't think he's ever been on something as high banked as that before racing. He says, "You feel the compression in the body. You feel the visibility change because when in a normal car on the circuit, your view in the car is longer ahead. When you're in the corner with banking, you see only the next 200 meters of the track. But it was good fun, a good feeling after missing track time. So far, so good," Alonso says. I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to do real well in that. You know, he was doing well in the Indy 500. He led 27 laps very early on. I mean, he wasn't able to finish the race. Had to retire with 21 laps to go after an engine problem. That is not of his doing. I think he's going to do well in this. Yep, he'll be in the Ligier LMP2, and I think he may even get a class win. I think he'll do all right. But Cadillac is already showing a strong pace. They won last year, and they are looking on par to win again. They led every session in those 2 days during the test. Cadillac did. And Brazilian driver Felipe Nasser in the number 31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac had the time to beat of 1 minute, 35.8 seconds, or 133 miles per hour as an average lap time. And he was in the Cadillac, and the Cadillac is, they're going to be the guys to beat, I think. Yep, they're going to be the guys to beat. Some other notable drivers, they got a complete listing. If you go over to IMSA, you can check this out for yourself. The number 3 Corvette is going to be back in contention. Juan Magnussen and Mike Rockenfeller and team, and they're going to try to defend their 2017 GTLM title. And they've got the sister car out there, the number 4 Corvette. That beautiful number 62 Ferrari 488 GTE is also going to be in the race. Tony Vilander, James Collado, and Alessandro Pierguidi, love that name, will be the 3 drivers in that car. I believe they drove that car all last year as well, so they'll be in the race. And of course, the Chip Ganassi Fords, the number 66 and 67 will be on hand. Ryan Briscoe going to take over one of those Chip Ganassi Fords, and Scott Dixon. Ryan Briscoe and Scott Dixon, will be in the number 67 Ford GT, which the Ford GT is, gosh, it's probably one of my favorite cars in the world. And I can have one for only $400,000 if anyone wants to donate. I won't mind. So yeah, those are just some of the teams that you can expect in the GTLM series at the 24 Hours of Daytona. And of course, that list is on IMSA.com. You can go over there and check that out and see all the stuff they've got on the 24 Hours of Daytona that I may have missed, but I'm looking forward to that, and I certainly hope you will pay attention to NRN and check out all the coverage from the 24 Hours of Daytona. Looking forward to going down there, and I'm going to be tired as a mess when I come back. But that'll do it here for the pit stop. That was fast and fun. I'm Justin with NRN, and I will see you next week for more racing news to get you all caught up. Man, racing season is coming. It is coming, folks. It won't be long now, and we will be watching some races again on the TV. Take it easy. Have a great week, and I will see you around.